Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Drew back again with another video. Today, I am joined by a very special guest. I already fanboyed. It's Sebastian the Boy Lletget. Welcome to the channel, man.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for having me. Happy to join you.
Thanks, man. Dude, this is, like I said, an awesome opportunity. I'm excited. It's
It's
awesome. So thank you for
great, man.
coming to the
I'm
show.
equally as excited.
Thanks, man. All right, so we're gonna ask you a couple questions. A lot of my subscribers, you guys ask questions, so we'll get to those as well. So let's just get right off the bat. Let's just get started. So first question, America has so many like other sports that are more popular than soccer. So I'm curious, what really got you interested in soccer in the first place? Like, I'm sure you were younger when you got
I
into it.
mean, I guess like a lot of kids start, but my dad is yeah, talk about fanboy or fanatic. I mean, this guy is a huge fan of the sport and soccer's in his blood, and he comes from Argentinian descent, so or he was born in Argentina, so I mean everybody out there
Yeah.
loves this, yeah, loves this game, and so he kind of just put that on me from a young age, and yeah, it's just it started ever since.
Got it, man. Same here. A Latino household, like that's just how it is.
That's just how it is, man. Yeah, it's in the blood. It's I don't know, it's contagious, you
Yeah.
can't help it.
I feel you, bro. So yeah, as a kid, like you said, very into soccer. Who were like your idols growing up as a kid in soccer?
To be honest, I mean, rest in peace, Diego Maradona. He
Yeah.
was huge. Definitely grew up watching his videos, and back when it was like cassette tapes too. My dad would go get them. I forget where he even got them. I don't know if he'd go to VHS store or he'd get them sent from Argentina, but he'd always make me watch them, and I kind of picked up on a lot of things and just his mentality, and it really started to shape me as a young player. And obviously me being having that background of being Argentinian, so we had that connection. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
That's like, it's your idol right there. I feel you.
yeah, that's, I mean, it's an easy one. He did so much and came from nothing and just made a lot out of himself, and the rest is history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So obviously, USA, USMNT has a lot of young coming up through the ranks talent. What are your thoughts? Like, where do you see yourself right now in this kind of, new wave of young American talent coming up and just, exploding out of nowhere?
I think it's a really exciting time if you're a U.S. soccer fan, or you're an American, whether you're playing this game or you're just watching it. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah.
So and I've seen these, I say kids, but just these young adults, playing for these big clubs, and just I've seen them and I played with them. Now I've had the opportunity, especially in last November, to play with them for 2 games or a good amount of them. And man, I mean, it's some really good talent, and it was a joy to play with, and I can only imagine what the future holds. So I think as long as we maintain focus, I think we're under the right manager. Someone like Greg Berhalter wants to develop players. So I mean, I think he's also shown it by giving, like, how many debuts, or first caps, he's given out. So he's definitely interested in building young talent. So it's really exciting, really exciting.
No, yeah, that's a very exciting moment. And you're right. Berhalter has definitely given a lot of opportunity to a lot of young players getting their
Mhm.
first caps, playing good, getting their first goals and everything. So,
Mhm.
and piggybacking off that, you were lucky enough to play in like all, 2 or 3 camps with the
Mhm.
USMNT. How strong or how like interesting do you see a mix of both camps together? Like, what does that look like to you since you were, you trained with both of them?
Yeah, I think that's the last sort of thing that everybody wants to see, that mix in the group of the domestic players and the European based players, coming together, and that, I think that'll be the actual, US national team. And I think it's tough too. It's tough because there's a lot of competition,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's healthy. You always want that. You want that to be a better, to push you to be a better player, to want to, or earn your spot, and it gives the management, or the coaches, a good problem to have. Having that many selections, up for grabs. So, but I do. I mean, that's the one thing I think you'll see this year. There's a lot of games coming up.
Yeah.
Right now it's sort of a quiet period, especially, we're still getting the MLS launch back up. And I mean, the European League are definitely, they're in their season, but I think as soon as March or end of March hits, there's going to be a lot of games. So it'll be a lot of good opportunity.
Yeah, I'm excited for this year. There's, like you said, a lot of competition, and a lot of just tournaments going on. So it's going to be good to see. So, talking about those camps also, Berhalter has been kind of favoring a false nine type of setup. And you played in that role. How comfortable are you playing in that role?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a first for me. And we didn't work too much on it. It was very interesting, but I think he had a lot of trust in me, and as I do to him. We've worked together the past 3 years, so since he took charge. And I mean, it's just one of those moments. But I think next time, if that day ever comes where he feels like, it always depends on the opposition. So if he feels that that's going to be the most effective thing to do to expose the opponent, then we'll give it a go, and I think I'll have a better understanding. But yeah, no, it was definitely fun.
Yeah, you look good in that position anyway. You got a couple goals in those camps, so
yeah, no, it was good, man. I mean, that's one thing I worked on last year, was just getting into the box and being that extra midfielder or that extra number to get in there. Not only is it the wingers or the striker getting in there, when you have an extra body coming in late, a midfielder can get a lot of goals. You can pick up a lot of goals. Or you create something. So you just give yourself the best opportunity to affect the game.
True, man.
Yeah,
I feel you. So another one. Is there a huge difference in between training camps between LA Galaxy and the USMNT?
I think there was there's always going to be a difference because the style of play, right? There's coaches that see the game differently, and there's different ways to play this game and to approach it. But from what I hear this next year, Greg Vanny, our new coach, is, he wants to implement I think a similar style to how Berhalter, plays this game, a very detailed, a very tactical way of approaching it. So I think last year there was a big difference because our coach Schelotto, he just had a way of doing things that was very, very different.
Yeah.
Not to say one was better than the other, but it was just, So anytime I'd go into, and this goes for any player, it is a tough task to jump from one team to the next, and especially with the national team, you don't have that as much time as to get comfortable with the system. As you do with your club, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Usually you only have 10 days, maybe 9 days to and probably 2 games in between that. So you don't really have a lot of time to get it. So yeah, it's difficult.
I feel you. Any players in those USMNT camps that really stood out to you? Any of these young kids coming out? They really like.
Yeah, no, for sure. Man, there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, I love Eunice. He's playing for Valencia right now. Eunice. He was definitely somebody. Nobody really knew. I mean, especially me. I didn't really know him personally or ever played with him or got to see much of him. But I think playing with him, especially in training. No, he was really good, and you just got to remember how young these guys are.
I know.
Weston, I've always been a fan of Weston. I played with him a good amount of times now, and he's just an engine. He just gets around the field so much. I focus on the midfield.
I'd say you like the midfield.
Yeah, I'm a midfielder.
That's your people right there.
Yeah, it's tough because you have direct connection with them, so you're kind of I don't know. You just always have that connection and, constantly in contact with them. So, I would say them too. Like right now. Yeah,
that's nice. So, with all this whole new group of players, like, where do you see your role mixed in with these like young guys? Like, because to me, like, you're not like old to me, because I think we're like same age.
I know.
Like, we're still in our prime. So
totally.
Where do you see yourself in this new role?
Yeah, it's a bit of a I mean, like you said, I definitely don't consider myself old. And I mean, even like people that are 31, 30, or like if you take care of yourself these days, those aren't even really
it's different nowadays.
Yeah, it's so different now. You got sports science, you got all sorts of things to information to use. But for my role, I think Yeah, I mean, I want to get as far as I can, embedded in this team. I want to, I know I've done a decent job and there's been good opportunities for me, but I just want to keep capitalizing. And if I am looked up to a little bit more of, because of my age, a little bit more of that experience role, then I'm super up for it. It's not something you choose to be or something. I mean, it's definitely a choice, but it's a gradual process. I think, just, you kind of just get to a certain age where you've seen a lot of things and you see things in players and you want to help them out. And it's just, type of person I am and a type of teammate that I want to be. So, hopefully in this next year, I can just establish myself even more.
Nice. I like that. So, you played alongside Zlatan in the LA Galaxy. How was that experience playing along him? Like, and what kind of persona did he bring, to the locker room?
Yeah, he was an interesting character, man. He was, I mean, nonetheless, though, he was a really, really good player. I honestly didn't really know. Like beforehand, I've seen him play. You hear about him, about him, playing for these huge teams and stuff. But when you played next to him, it was different because you don't really see somebody that tall, that strong, and that technically gifted. Yeah, people like think about his strength and his ability to head the ball, but his technique and having the ball like on his feet, like it was impressive, and his foot's like this long.
It's huge.
It's just like Jesus, like God damn it, and then he's a physical, beast. So it's like, it's hard to even get near him defensively. So yeah, it was very, very interesting. It was, it was an experience. His mentality was one thing that I'll walk away, something that I'll steal from him for sure. Just the way he approached the game and his killer mentality. I really did love that about him, because I do think if you want to win, you do need to have that, you need to have that relentlessness. And yeah, so that I hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does, man. So piggybacking off that as well, LA Galaxy always bringing in some like star power players. Who were some of your favorite like big names around the world that you got to play with?
Man, there's some I play against, and then the ones I've played with. For me, one of my favorites was always Steven Gerrard. Oh, yeah. It was just like, it was just a dream, a dream come true, because he was somebody I had multiple posters up, just like how you have the US banner up. Like I had a huge one of Stevie, and he was just the experience he brought. And even though he was on the tail end of his career, you can see how his brain worked, and he was a gentleman off the field, and somebody that I really like looked up to. And again, there's things from him that I picked up on and that I want to carry into my game, so it was, I learned a lot.
Yeah. So in the LA Galaxy, roster, is there any young players there that you see that have potential to be like a Brendan Aronson or Brian Reynolds?
For sure. I mean, we have we have like two or three, but Efrain Alvarez is I mean, I know he's doing his whole thing, choosing between America and Mexico, right, and that whole battle, but he is a true talent, and I try to steer him in the right direction as much as possible. But he's definitely, like, as far as just raw talent, as long as he just he can take it as far as he wants to. He's So I wish the best for him. One of my good friends and somebody I consider a little brother is Julian Araujo, who's our right back, and he's another just machine. Like, he's just I'm really, really happy for him. All the opportunities that I think are going to come up for him, and I don't know if he's getting sold or if he's staying or any of that stuff, but he's I do think the future is bright for him. And, again, I try to steer these guys in the right way.
That's nice, man. Speaking about the future, how do you see, yourself? Like, I know you had a little stint at West Ham before, early in your career. Is there any like thinking of going back to abroad and, maybe in the future one day?
Yeah. No, I think there's going to be opportunities there, especially after this year. There was some talk, between my team, my personal team, to see if that was something that I wanted or something that I'm open to. And I think if the right opportunity presents itself, we'll definitely exercise it, or we'll entertain it. But right now, obviously I am focused, and my dream is to win something with, I never won something here at the Galaxy. So that is in the forefront of my mind, but and as well as playing with the national team this year. But I do think I'd be lying to you if I said it's not on my mind.
Yeah. You're still in your prime though. So
yeah,
you're good.
We got to see what we can do.
Yeah. How do you see this season coming up with the Galaxy? Hopefully better than last season.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I know. Yeah, way better than last season. I mean, no, I don't even doubt it, to be honest. Usually I you don't know going into it, but I just have this feeling that we're going to be just a way more organized, and the culture of the club is going to be where it needs to be. And I think just getting back to winning ways at the end of the day, we can do what we want, or I mean, we can change the culture, but we do have to win. And we know that, but it's just implementing the right steps to get there. So I think if we lay the foundation right, which we are right now, a new management, a breath of fresh air, who ideas from what I've seen so far are, what I think where this club needs to go. So if you implement all that stuff, I think the rest will take care of itself.
That's nice. I know there's not like rosters announced yet, but what tournament this year are you hoping to really get some action in for the USMNT?
Yeah, man. For the national team?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? It's kind of a funny coincidence, but I've gotten injured right before two big tournaments, and those were 2 Gold Cups. And so last year, literally the game before I was supposed to take my flight, I had a hamstring injury, and I never really even honestly, I don't have like too many muscle injuries, and I don't know what the hell happened. We're playing New England Revolution, and in the first 10 minutes, that happens. And, maybe it's the stress I put on myself. Like, I can't wait to go. And I just got to get the game. Like, you're focused on the game, but you're kind of like,
your mind's somewhere else.
To get on that flight, you know what I mean? And I need to be healthy. And dude, that happened. And then the first one wasn't back in 2017 when I had my big injury, which, those things happen. And I mean, there's no control you have over that one. So I think now looking this year, I'm really excited for that Gold Cup. That's something that, it's just, I've never been part of a big tournament like that with the national team. So, and I think it's the perfect lead up to the World Cup qualifiers. You know what I mean? So as far as practice and training and getting that chemistry right as a whole team, getting ready for the World, to qualify for the World Cup, which last time we failed, like that's going to be huge for us too. So I would say those two tournaments, Gold Cup and qualifier is up there.
Yeah. I'm hoping for you, man.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Have you ever gotten starstruck playing against or with any other soccer player?
I have. Yeah, I have. One of them, for whatever reason, was Pirlo. Yeah, Pirlo was, when he was playing for New York. I don't know, man. He just had this swagger about him and just this nonchalant, like just strolling around, but just like spraying balls left and right.
And he's like a midfielder too.
Yeah, he's a midfielder. Yeah, I know, right? You can totally see I'm super biased. But yeah, he just had that swagger. And I was like, man, like, dude, this guy's just going, and he's just walking and just like, he made it look easy. You know what I mean? And like, you couldn't help but keep your eye on him. And so I think he's one person. I think my debut for Galaxy, you got to play against Kaká. And that was, I mean, just because it was your first game, I just got to the league. It was just like,
there.
Yeah, it was like, I'm like, man, this guy's a baller. And so that was somebody too. Man, there's been a lot though. I actually got to play with more than, I got to play with as opposed to playing against.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I would say those two though. Those two.
Nice. Is there that's pretty much it. I did want to know your thoughts actually on, I know Becky G just did a whole Angel City FC. I want to know your thoughts on that. I think that's obviously great to bring more sport to the women's side.
Yeah. And that's what it really comes down to is bringing more, shedding more light on the women's game. And, one of the biggest reasons she did this is, you know, she's huge on family. You know, she's Mexican and they're huge, and that's always on the forefront of her mind. And so she's always like, yo, you know, if I have a daughter, I want her to grow up or think that she can actually, you know, play for a team that's in her city, you know. And Becky being from LA, it's so close to home, especially, you know, like in her heart, like she wants to see the game progress. And what better way than to invest in a team that's right next door. So I think that was one of the biggest reasons for her. And I think it's awesome. You know, I commend her for getting involved. And I think, you know, her using her platform to just have more exposure on the team is going to be huge.
I think that was a really great move for her. So congrats to her, you know, congrats to you too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So one last question before we get into the fun little Q&As. Is there any player, you know, retired or currently that you wish you could play with alongside?
Man, retired or let's see. I think God, that's a really good question. I think Xavi from Barca. Yeah, I don't know, man. This guy just looked like, again, legend. Just like seemed like a good captain, good leader, like super smart. You can just see like the IQ. Just constantly, he just always knew exactly what to do. So I don't know, just playing along somebody like that, like I don't know, that would be pretty cool. Like that,
like learning off him, like would be even like that'd be awesome. Yeah. I feel like he's probably like the benchmark for like every midfielder. Like look up
totally
to him.
Yeah, as far as like his just awareness, he never got caught on the ball, always made more times than not the right decision. You're just like, damn, like I could learn a lot off that guy. So
how are you just good, man?
Yeah, I know.
All right, so let's get into like the fun little Q&As. Okay. A lot of people have given me a lot of these. So here we go. Your favorite cheat day meal?
Cheat day meal. God damn it. I usually take good care of my diet. My favorite, if I could, I would just destroy a pizza. But I love an asado, man. Like you know, like a huge steak.
Yeah, like carne asada.
Yeah, like, you know, just really go for it. Or because I'm half Mexican now, being with Becky, just tacos, man. Just like a night, like even just a taco truck. You know,
those are the best kind though. Just right off the street.
Tacos. Yeah. Keep it super LA, traditional. Just down the street. Yeah, I would do that.
I'm starving now. Favorite Becky G song?
Ooh. I love, because I do love, I mean, as much as I love her English music, her Spanish music, for me, just like really, and all the stuff that hasn't come out yet is gonna be fire. Side note, but I think Mayores, one of her biggest, you know, especially, I think that's, especially when it's, I don't know, there's a little bit, she denies a little bit, but you know, there's a little bit of that song about me in there. So, you know me, I gotta be a little biased towards that.
I like that, man. I'm more of a Cuando Te Besé kind of guy myself.
Oh, dude, good song. Dude,
that song's good.
That song bangs too.
Yeah, you guys are just bump. Now you got me thinking. Do you guys bump her music in the car ever? Like just
100%. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that hasn't come out yet or that she's working on, she will always like brainstorm, or she gives me like that, you know, I don't even know if she's taking my advice, but she always makes me feel like she is, you know what I mean? So it's something I enjoy. It's like one of our things, you know what I mean?
That's good to have though, man.
Yeah, it's fun. It takes me out of like my world too, you know, like a lot
you see her part of her world, you know.
Totally, yeah, and it kind of like puts things in perspective for me sometimes, and I'm like, man, it's a good break from soccer, you know. So sometimes you do need, because I can get obsessive over this game, so I'm like, God, it's nice to just, you know, take a break,
you know. But I'm sure she feels that way too about, you know,
go
into your world with soccer, you know.
I think that's where that balance comes in, you know, like that's where really it's one of our strengths, I think. Yeah,
you guys are definitely in my top 5 favorite.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Favorite date idea?
Oh, favorite date idea. All right, this is something we haven't done, but we actually just talked about it. We're gonna do a drive-in, you know, like on
Like
a
a movie
movie theater.
drive-in?
Yeah, like a movie drive-in.
Nice.
It's something she kind of brought it to my attention, but it's something I had in mind. I'm gonna, you know, but I never followed through.
Yeah.
So I think a drive-in would be cool. I've never really had that experience, so I think I think it'll be nice to be that first time with her. That'll be cool.
I think I have a couple around here. They're pretty cool. Like,
Yeah,
they went
yeah,
out of style. Like,
that's
they're
what I
awesome.
keep hearing. So I'm like, man, we gotta try this.
Favorite sport outside of soccer?
Favorite sport? It's gotta be basketball. Yeah, gotta be basketball.
Who's your team?
Oh, Warriors all day.
Warriors.
Not like a bandwagon, dude. Like a real. I'm
You were there
with
from the start.
They're from my city. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, San Francisco. You know what I mean? So I gotta represent.
Favorite Netflix show to binge watch or any kind of show?
Favorite Netflix or any show? I mean, Breaking Bad was huge for me. That was the one that got me hooked on shows. Oh man, do you know? Have you seen Ozarks?
Oh, I love Ozark.
Oh, dude,
I watched the whole season one day.
Yeah, and I hear they're coming out with season 3.
Yep, it's gonna be the last one actually. So
it's gonna be the last one. So
it's gonna go out big.
Yeah. So I would say Ozarks just because I don't know. I can't wait for that season 3.
No, it's gonna be awesome. Favorite social media app?
Favorite social media? Man, I mean, I think like everybody else, it's kind of like switching over to TikTok, right? I mean,
that's a new wave right now.
There's some momentum. The only problem is you can spend like 4 hours on that thing and you're just like, where did that time go? You're just like, but no, I mean, IG will always be that cool outlet that you can get like news on. You can get, you know, you can get some positivity on there. You could, you know, you could post yourself. And I mean, I've always enjoyed a little IG. So I'd say IG.
All right. So last one, this is probably a big one. I don't know. Okay. Messi or Ronaldo?
God, man, it goes hand in hand, but I got pulled for my roots, and I mean, it's got to be Messi. It's got to be Messi. But
I'm so proud of you.
No, absolutely zero disrespect towards Ronaldo.
No, it's always
absolutely. You know, they're both unbelievable, but I gotta say Messi for sure.
Okay, so last one. Actually, I just made this up on
no worries.
Who do you think would probably have the bigger impact if they were to come to MLS, Ronaldo or Messi? Because I was on the Ronaldo train. I feel like he's more marketable than Messi.
Yeah, you can kind of go back and forth, but as far as I don't know, man. I think like you said, I think Ronaldo could have a huge impact. Either one, but I do think Ronaldo playing wise, off the field stuff obviously would kill it, but on the field, I think this guy would be an animal too. So
definitely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think Ronaldo could definitely. I think maybe if there was ever one of them to come first, I think it'd be him.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And maybe hopefully it's LA Galaxy.
And then hopefully,
another legend for you.
He picks this side of town for sure.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. That was my interview here with Sebastian Lletget. This is an awesome opportunity, man. Thank you so much again for coming to the channel. This is great.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for the time.
Thanks. I'll see you guys next time.